You made it!
Well, we're in Lordsburg. Everybody's here. Warrior Expeditions people are here. Tomorrow we get the rest of our gear. We do a little bit of a training just to make sure everybody knows how everything works and all that stuff. And then we set out on Thursday morning. Everybody seems real nice. Get along with everybody, so that's nice. Yeah, we got a Navy guy, a Marine, and 4 Army guys. So, pretty good group.
It's going to take 2 weeks for your brain to accept a new reality. And the reason we say this is you're going to be at your breaking point at the end of the first 2 weeks because you're going to be right at that precipice before the switch works over. Again, one of the keys to being a successful thru hiker is it's a constant series of problem solving. So you just got to be able to stop and figure out what's wrong and then figure it out quickly. Because you always got to loosen up all the straps before you put your pack on, with the exception of the sternum strap. The sternum strap is the one that I always keep. You don't have to adjust it. So this isn't going to change. I do the old infantry trick where you bend over 90 degrees and you bunny hop it high on your back. You want a majority of the weight to be on the hip belt, not on the shoulder straps.
How many soldiers does it take?
No pressure.
No pressure.
We're all just waiting on you.
Hurry up.
Tent's the last thing that can go on the pack, right? You can pack your entire pack up in your tent, then hop out of your tent, break down the tent, stick it on the back and start hiking. And then once it crushes, all you do is it goes reconstitutes. So my 2 Marines on the Arizona Trail this year went and took it and they wrung the bottle.
Oh my god.
And the bottle never reconstituted, so we had to get a new bottle.
Marine smash.
So one of the guys' trail's name is Hulk. All you do is Michelle always says you fold it once to get the air out. And you just fold it down, pump it in. I had a guy, one of my Marines.
Well, I closed it.
Oh my god. Tent class.
This one.
Got all of my stuff. It's just a matter of packing up and then heading out on the trail tomorrow.
Tell me when it starts.
I didn't put my makeup on for this. My name is Michelle Revoir. I am the Director of Development for War Expeditions. So War Expeditions as a whole, we support combat veterans, and our main goal is to get them back into the civilian life and to really appreciate humanity again, because you come back and you really don't like people very much. So you're meeting other hikers and other townspeople, but you're also being supported by VFWs, American Legions, and other trail angels. And then on top of that, you have 8 hours a day to just think and not have to deal with the everyday bills and chaos and nuances of at-home life. And so the CDT, we have 6 guys out here who are going to try to do that this year. So we have a variety of hikers. We have hikers who haven't gotten off their couch in 6 years. They got out and just vegetated. And we have one of those on this trail right now, and he's been killing it this week. And then we have other guys who have done a triple crown and or working on their triple crown right now, and guys who came off the Florida Trail right before coming out here. And so it's a huge variety. We really honestly look for their resilience level and how they come across in their interview. You can kind of tell if someone's really genuine and if they look like A, they need this trail, and B, they can complete this trail. So we have a lot of applicants that come in, and we have a pretty hefty evaluation process, I guess. And first step, which is crazy, is just send in your paperwork. And then after that, it is an interview. We ask them why they want to hike, what trails they want to hike, what they think they're going to get out of the hike. And really, that is our main process for choosing someone is that interview. Everything else, you can have 8 combat deployments under your belt, but you might be so far gone that this isn't going to help you. Or you haven't had any deployments, and so this is just a fun hike. It's not really going to be a process or, for you. So someone right in the middle is what we're looking for. So I was going to hike the Appalachian Trail in 2015 by myself, and then I came across War Expeditions on Facebook, kind of like everybody else. And I reached out and was like, hey, it sounds really cool. And he was like, hey, do you want to hike with us? And I was like, no, I'm going to hike something else. Because he was like, do the PCT. And I was like, no, I want to do the AT. And then he convinced me to do the AT with them. And I hiked, and then every year after that, I volunteered. And I came back and I helped the next group for the first week, and I hiked with them. And then eventually he was like, do you want a job? I said no. He's like, do you want a job with us? I said yeah. So now I've been the director of development since 2018. I was in the Air Force for 11 years as a combat videographer, and it was awesome. So I deployed to Afghanistan, Iraq, pretty much like most people in these groups. When I came back, I honestly didn't think that I needed help. So I didn't apply for the program like, oh, I need therapy. There's something wrong with me. I was in the Air Force, so I didn't think I needed anything. It's like all these Army guys need help. I don't need help. They need help. They're all crazy. Being on the trail actually made me realize that I had a lot of things I had to deal with. And so when I actually got home, I went to therapy for the first time. Well, one of the biggest changes I saw was actually on my hike on the Appalachian Trail in 2015. We had 2 Army guys. One, he was just, to be blunt, he was an asshole. Like, he was just, no one wanted him around. He was one of those guys that you're like, if he doesn't want to hike anymore, that's fine. He can go home. Well, he ended up staying on trail longer. And all of a sudden, like I said, he was group hugs. He was like everyone's friend. He opened up. He was all of a sudden like nice to people. And now, I mean, that was 2015, and we still talk every other month. And I wanted nothing to do with him in the beginning of the trail. Another guy we hiked with, if there was a group of civilian hikers, he would not go over there. He would just sit and just wouldn't move. And then we were in Shenandoah, and there was a group of hikers sitting outside the window, and he was like, hey, let's go have lunch with them. And we were all like, what? So like little subtle changes like that you're like, okay, this is working. I mean, everyone talks about nature, but it's not just nature. It's something about being alone. I really do think that being alone with your own thoughts, there's so many outside distractions when it comes to just life in general, that you don't have to focus on yourself. You never really talk to yourself. If you think about it, you've got podcasts and music and other people and just everything around you. When you're on trail, there's a lot of times where it's just you. So you really have to like get to know yourself, and that's a hard thing to do sometimes. I think we actually have a really strong group this year. We had most of the guys applied in 2020 and didn't get to go because of everything going on. And so I think they're going to do great. We've got one new guy who was new this year, but he's got experience, and he's from Colorado, so he kind of knows what to expect, which is pretty big out here. This is not a trail you want to get on thinking you're just going to be walking in the woods, because you're not. So yeah, no, I think our group this year is solid. Yeah, I know a lot of vets who are like, oh, you're just walking. Why would you want to do that? Because we like to walk to the military with a backpack, and it sucked. But what I tell them all the time is like, it's way different. It's not the military. It's a whole different thing. And you need it. Like, if you're even thinking about it, like, just do it. There's absolutely no reason why you just want to do it. So one of the questions we ask in our interview process is, what do you think you're going to get out of this hike? And a lot of the times the answer is, I've tried traditional talk therapy. I've tried meds. They keep putting me on these medications where I don't feel anything and I don't have any emotions anymore, and they have no feeling. So it's like either extreme emotion or nothing at all. And so this is what they're going to try next. Let's see if this is the solution. And you know, we say there's no cure for trauma, but there is treatment.
Anything else you want to say?
No. That's it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just heading down. Time to get this party started. Alright, so while I got everybody here, I'm going to go through who everyone is. So, this is Jeff. He's not actually part of our group. He did Warrior Expeditions a couple of years ago. That's Blues. Oops, that's Steve. He doesn't have a name yet, but I'm calling him Yes Chef. Caveman. That's Turtle Wolf. And Grey Goose. Keep forgetting his name.
So I can be tactical. Like, first thing is just gotta be cool.
Do you think they're going to see a rattlesnake?
Probably you're gonna see a lot.
But will we see one before we see you again?
Probably.
Can I bring back one to put in the hamster cage?
No. Southern Terminus. And then there we go.
Are you sure we're on the right path? That's a bad way to start.
This is the start, right? Here starts 3,000 miles of walking. Just 10 o'clock. Just under 14 miles to go today. And we'll be in Lordsburg in 5 days. So Monday. First one of many. Of many, many, many. Guess where we're at? That's right. One in. And there goes the cars. Alright, keep going. It's a little windy out here. It's what, noon? Yeah. About 5 miles in on the first day. What'd you find there, Turtle? You're fine, I'll edit it. That is a pissed off rattlesnake.
Shit.
Did you hear it?
No.
Oh, it rattled. He went, oh, oh yeah, he's not happy. Yeah. Turtle Wolf found the first rattler. You can barely, there it is. There you go.
I think that's the biggest one I've ever seen.
So yeah, we thought we were gonna make it to the first couple of days maybe without seeing one, but nope. First day, what is this, mile 12? Yeah. Yep, you're okay there, buddy. I know, you're all right. All right, here we are, arriving at the water cache. I'm tired of this wash. It's much harder than I expected in terms of just rocks. But I'm here. I'm gonna get my pack set down, get some water in me, and then work on finding a campsite. Do this before I completely lose the light. Obviously I'm in my tent. I'm getting ready to go to bed. It is really windy. Everything in my tent is covered in dirt. Tough day, but yeah, ready for tomorrow. Just keep on keeping on. I'll be in shape eventually, just not right now. And I will check in with you in the morning. Night. All right, morning 2. Tin Man's over here brushing his teeth, and Grey Goose is kind of trying to figure out why he's all fucked up. You're supposed to be good at this. The best description I've heard for this morning is gritty. We're all like hacking up lungs and stuff from all the dust. So yeah, we're gonna get going here in a minute, but no rush.
Yeah, it was just about that bad, wasn't it?
Bunch of the group split up to either road walk or trail walk. It's 12 miles basically. I think most of us are gonna refill water and then keep going a little ways from there. Tomorrow, it's a 20 mile to the water point. Although, at the road intersections, we're gonna meet up with the Warrior Expeditions guys. So, sore, but to be expected. We'll see what today brings. So I just want to give you a quick idea of what navigation is like on the trail. These are your navigational posts. The problem is, I'm trying to go down there, and it's a bit like, where's Waldo? If Waldo was dressed like a cactus. Let me point out the post to you. It's right there. That's what I've been dealing with for the last few hours. Haven't gotten completely lost, but I've definitely gotten off trail quite a few times. First fence of the trip, but this one has a style so you can get through. Oh, think skinny thoughts. Here we go. All right, first fence down. Whoever knows how many to go. Alright, less than a mile from 81, which is where they're meeting us, and then refill on water, and then probably go another maybe 2 miles, just because tomorrow's a really long day. Today wasn't too bad. The worst part was the navigation. It's really windy, so I apologize if you can't really hear this. Just saw Michelle and Sean at the vans. Got my water topped off, but however far I go from here is less that I gotta do tomorrow, because it's 20 miles from here to the next time we see them. But it's like 4 o'clock. I'll go till probably like 6-ish, and then set up camp and make dinner. Sitting here on the side of the trail making dinner. Solo camping tonight. Didn't catch up with the other guys. Got a beautiful campsite. Got everything set up, so it's literally just eat dinner. I'm very sore, but you know, I expected to be, so I'm not trying to rush this because I know I will be in shape eventually. 16 miles tomorrow to get to the road, which is where Michelle and Sean will be meeting us. I did get my first trail magic. This is my spoon. Came up over the hill back here after I'd crossed over 81 and gotten Gatorade and stuff from Michelle and Sean, and a guy had pulled over on Hashida Peak Road, which ironically is like right over here, which is where I came up on my motorcycle. So I'm literally just off of where I circled around on my bike. A guy had pulled over there in a very stylish Honda Element. It had like unicorns and stuff on it, and was handing out fruit and stuff. So I got a pair from him and had my first trail poop. I started to head down the trail, down the road, because the road was kind of off the way, and I kind of cut into the trees to find a spot to do my business. And he started following me like, no, the trail's down there. It's like, yeah, no, dude, I know. I'm like about to go lay an egg back here. Please don't follow me. I'm gonna eat my food since it should be good now. I will catch in with you tomorrow on the trail. Good morning. Just walking 15 miles to the road, 20-mile water carry, so I have more water than I would normally have. We should all be camping together tonight. I don't remember how far it is tomorrow, but we're basically need to average 17 miles a day in order to get to Lordsburg on day 5. All right, it's just after noon. I've gone 9.2 miles this morning. Really good trail today. Haven't struggled at all with navigation. It's just been, you know, wide open spaces. So just wanted to update you with what was going on. But I got 2 miles to the water cache / road, and I ran out of water 2.5 miles ago. I'm gonna guess my camelback got slightly compressed when I was filling it up, because I don't think I got 3 liters of water into it. Did get reception a minute ago, so my phone went absolutely nuts. And I did let Michelle and them know that I'm out of water, but I should be fine, you know. If it was 90 degrees, that would be a different calculation. I'll get up here, get to the vans, and take a break. Made it to the vans. All right, just left the vans. I got like 4.5 miles to a water point. My hat's all crooked because I'm trying to shield from the sun. Sounds like most of the others camped there, which if I make it to there tonight, means it's 2 17-milers to Lordsburg. Probably gonna try and do that. It's 5:30 right now. I'll probably end up doing something fairly similar to yesterday where I go until about 6:30 or 7, see where I get and go from there. I would guess I can probably make that water point without a whole lot of difficulty. Good morning. Start of day 4. Super windy night last night again. Got about 5 hours of sleep. It's supposed to be a high of like 63 today. It's like mid 40s right now. So in terms of hiking weather, it's perfect. Got the rain jacket on for wind protection and got about 7.5 miles until we hit the road and get burritos. So lots of motivation to get going this morning. Met up with everybody last night. So I got Turtle and Jazz Hands in front of me, and then Jabberwocky and Blues are behind me. They'll probably pass me here at some point because they walk way faster than I do. Got some tape on my feet for blisters. It's just the sides of my feet that are the problem, but my toes and everything are fine. We'll get into Lordsburg tomorrow, so the hope is to do kind of a long day today to make tomorrow short. Anything over 17 miles that I do today would be less than 17 that I have to do the next day. But I will check in with you a little bit later, and we'll see where we're at. Rather ominous way to start the morning, but the vultures are circling. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like 15 of them. Not today, Satan. Just left the vans. The goal would be to see how close to 20 before camping. Morning, just breaking down camp. Just over 15 miles, like 15.2 miles, and the last 5 miles of that is a road walk, which is gonna kind of suck. Let's be honest. I'm just gonna let that finish taking pictures. I'm gonna eat a little bit, and set off. So I will catch up with you on the road. So while I had reception last night, I read something really funny on Facebook, and it was comparing and contrasting the PCT and the CDT. And people who had done both were basically posting, like, for PCT hikers who are doing the CDT, this is not the PCT desert. Be prepared to wander like Moses. They're not kidding, man. Like right now I'm on a trail, and the only post is like 300 yards ahead of me, and you'll be walking along here and you're like a great footpath, you know, tons of foot traffic, feeling good, trails like wider than your shoulders. You haven't seen a post for a while, so you check gut hooks. You are 0.2 miles north of the CDT. You're like, what the hell, man? There are about 1 million little paths going through here. They're all the CDT. But yeah, wandering like Moses. We have a cow block. What should I do? Can you ladies let me go by, please? My slight concern is there's several babies. I'm gonna go over here, okay? Oh, this one here is eyeballing me something fierce. I've survived the cows. That's Sean back there. Won't see him again. He's heading home from here to Virginia. Got Turtle Wolf, and I can't think of the other dude's name. He's not part of our group, but hiking up in front of me. We got a nice 5-mile walk into Lordsburg and dinner. Less struggling coming to you from out here in Graboid country. The thing to really remember when you're out here is walk without rhythm. The worms won't get you if you walk without rhythm. No chance you'd come over and say hi? Or hey. There goes Sean. He's heading home to Virginia, and we're continuing on the trail. Hi. You gonna come say hi? No? Alright. I gotta walk to town. They're watching me. Just crested the hill, and there's Lordsburg. And then tomorrow will be either a zero or a Nero, and we'll keep going from there. We gotta figure something out, because apparently there's a fire closure between here and Silver City. So, not sure what that looks like yet. We gotta check it out and see what we're gonna do. My name is Brady Allen, and my trail name is Mountain Man. So I was in the Marines and the Army. I was only in the Marines briefly. I got injured when I was in training, and then I was in the Army for about 6 years total between active duty and other stuff. I deployed twice, so I went to Afghanistan in 2006 and I went to Iraq in 2008, both with 10th Mountain Division, hence the trail name. Yeah, I was our line medic attached to, mostly it was combat engineers, so a lot of finding IEDs, local construction projects, and then for a period of time in Iraq I broke my ankle doing just regular dumb stuff, and ended up in the aid station for several months working there, so all the normal stuff that a medic has to deal with. Yeah, plenty. Afghanistan, we had quite a few times where thankfully Afghanistan, we were treating local nationals most of the time. We rarely had our own guys who were getting injured. But yeah, I mean, I got blown up in Afghanistan from a suicide bomb and some stuff like that. And then Iraq, we were in Baghdad in a really shitty time to be in the area that we were in. And so to be a medic in that area in the time that we were there, we averaged, for a 4 or 5 month period, we averaged at least one major trauma patient a day for 5 months. So yeah, lots of really ugly stuff came through our aid station. So I'm an 80% disabled veteran, and 70% of that is from PTSD. I coped with it the way that a lot of medics coped with it, which was basically just by shutting off all my emotions. I got out of the military as basically a robot. You know, I was able to hold a full-time job, you know, work, do the whole, you know, be a productive member of society, but didn't really have friends, didn't have relationships, didn't, you know, interact with people other than my work and, you know, stuff like that, because I didn't want to. It depends. There's a level of detachment you have to have just to be able to function. You know, and I think the reason a lot of medics do cope by isolating their emotions is just because you do have to kind of compartmentalize yourself when you're working on somebody. But when you're working on, you know, a friend that you've known for 3 years at that point, and they come in blown to pieces, like, it sucks. But in the moment, you still just have to be like, okay, it doesn't matter if I know this guy and I know his birthday and I know he's got 2 kids. Like, it doesn't matter right now because I need to try and save his life. You know, it's afterwards that it kind of hits you, and you're just like, I had one friend that I worked on that died. I had another 2 or 3 friends that I worked on that had more minor injuries. One guy's in a wheelchair, but everybody else was okay. And then a ton of other people that I didn't know, but they're all, you know, American service members, and it sucks just seeing people come in one after the other. And, you know, our average patient was a multi-system, amputee. So I didn't start going to counseling for stuff until 2016-ish, something like that. You know, got put on medication, did all this stuff that they end up doing a lot of times with vets, and it was just it was very hit and miss. I heard about this program and applied immediately. I wished I had heard about it back in 2013, but, you know, didn't find out about it until 2020, and thankfully got accepted and basically dropped everything and got ready to hit the trail. Yeah, it's really hard to find common ground. It's even hard to find common ground with other medical professionals, because I experienced trauma treatment on a level that most ER physicians will never see. So it's just hard. It's hard to relate to somebody who wasn't there with you to be like, oh yeah, remember that time the guy came in with no face? Like, there's no relating to that unless you were there and experienced it, you know. Yes, they have both post-deployment stuff and stuff for transitioning veterans. They're all crap.
Okay.
But it also is a lot of the fact that when you're first coming back from all those situations, that's the last thing you want to deal with. The joke that we were making when we were over there is like, we don't have post-traumatic stress syndrome, we have continuing traumatic stress syndrome. Like, we're still in the middle of it. And that's kind of how you feel when you're first getting out. Like, it took almost 10 years from me getting out to go get help for this. We had a lot of guys who started committing suicide 8 and 10 years down the road from stuff, because that's when it finally kind of started hitting them. My unit's lost more guys to suicide now than we did in combat. And all of them were, I think the first one was 8 years after we got back. The problem is it requires that you go seek help, which you don't want to, because you get put on medications, you get a psychiatrist who's never been in the military, let alone seen combat, trying to talk to you about traumatic events. You get put on medications that make you even more of a robot if you weren't already, or make you gain weight, make you tired. But I'm working on cycling off the medication that I'm on currently, and the biggest problem that I had was at 3 p.m. every day. It made me so damn tired, I just wanted to go and lay down for the rest of the day. Relationships. Had a girlfriend and realized how it was affecting her, and that you're just not emotionally present for anything. and you're not able to be. It's different to literally not be able, you understand, you have empathy, you have compassion and all that stuff, but to not be able to be emotionally present when they're going through a tough time, or you're having an argument or whatever, you know it's wrong. You just know that something's really wrong. And that was pretty much the time where it's okay, I gotta do something here, because this is not gonna work. I already had a lot of outdoors background. Before I had joined the Army, I had done an associate's degree in outdoor education and basically spent 2 years as a ski bum doing backpacking and doing all that stuff anyway. I grew up in Colorado. I was always an outdoors person, so I knew about the Appalachian Trail. I knew about the CDT. I knew about the trails, even though I had never done a thru hike. I knew about wilderness therapy for veterans. I knew about outdoor therapy programs through Outward Bound and Knowles and that stuff. I just hadn't heard of Warrior Expeditions before. So when I'm oh, they sponsor veterans to go do a thru hike and process all their shit. How was no one doing this before? You're literally just going out and telling somebody your job is to eat, walk, camp, and repeat for 5 months. That's it. That's exactly what veterans don't get when they get out of the military to be able to handle their stuff. You get out of the military and it's immediately back into life. And so, when I got accepted to the program, I was sitting there thinking about it. It's all right, when was the last time I didn't have a full-time job or full-time commitments? Ever since getting out of the military, especially, I've always had either full-time education, full-time job, full-time stress. Plenty of veterans aren't going to be right for it because they're not outdoors people, they're not into backpacking. The idea of camping in the woods is miserable to them. But the ability to just take someone and take all of the crap out of their life for a period of time and let them focus on them is huge. I tried to do some stuff in terms of getting a leave from absence from work and stuff like that. I basically, when I got accepted to the program, I'm that just became my number one priority. I don't have a girlfriend right now, I'm not married, I don't have kids, I don't have a pet, I don't have a bunch of other commitments that would keep me from doing this. I'm not going to let anything stop me from being able to do this trip. And so I ended up quitting my job because they wouldn't give me a leave of absence. Ended up selling my house because it was just not worth trying to find a renter for 5 months or whatever it was. And basically said, all right, in September when I'm getting close to being done, I can figure out where I'm going from here, but I'm doing this damn thing. That part of it's been stressful just because there's such a condensed time frame there. The house is sold, I don't have a job, I'm full on hiker trash for the next 6 months, and that's all I gotta be. So it feels pretty good. Yesterday, our group finished the first 85-mile segment after starting at Crazy Cook on April 15th. My feet are pretty messed up, but I was pretty much expecting it. I'm not in shape. Between COVID and everything else, I was 30 pounds overweight and not in shape for anything, so I fully anticipated the first 2 weeks of this were going to suck something awful. Glad that we took a rest day today, but I'll be ready to move on tomorrow. If you look at the idea of hiking a trail like this, and that seems like fun, apply. It's gonna suck. There are definitely a lot of times on the trail where you're just why am I doing this to myself? But it's worth it. If this isn't your thing, great. There's other programs out there that will be able to help you find them and find one that you find attractive and go for it. Find the thing that appeals to you to help you move on. Because it's not going to happen on its own.
Anything else you want to say?
Not that I can think of.
All right, I think you said it all.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
May I give you a hug?
I'm fully vaccinated.